Hello, guys, and a very warm welcome to another edition of Friday Hangout. And yes, it's been a long time. A couple of weeks without the Hangout. I know that you guys might have been waiting for this, but we have been waiting as well. So right here we are with all our buddies, and we are going to discuss a lot of cricket today. If beginning with the India-Bangladesh series, which is coming up. But before we could touch upon all those topics, we have some lovely buddies out here whom I'm going to really introduce real quickly. So let me go to my extreme left and say hi to Arvind. Arvind, you there?
Not gonna be there.
All right, no problem. We have Mridul. Hi Mridul, how are you doing, buddy?
Hi Imam bhai, bas बढ़िया.
बढ़िया, बहुत अच्छा. So waiting for the series then.
Yeah, let's see who broadcast it.
All right, hold on to that thought. Hold on to your horses. We are going to talk about that real quickly. We have Raja as well. Raja, how are you doing?
Hi, Imam. Thanks. All going good. Waiting for the series. Waiting for Akshay's performance, especially.
Fantastic. See, I told you that we have people who are just waiting to talk about the guys who have got picked. And before we really do that, let me say a quick hi to Robin as well. Hi, Robin.
Hi, ma'am. Hi. I'm waiting for the series like me. Am I audible?
As well. And yeah, go on.
So, I believe all of us are following the World Cup also. It's not only cricket, we love sports. So, I believe the World Cup has started.
डिप्लोमेसी नहीं चलेगा इधर ये क्रिकेट का शो है.
That's basically affecting the broadcast.
Robin, are you trying to get yourself into the broadcasting team of the FIFA World Cup? If that is the case, then I think we will give you some enough time towards the later part of the show. So you can
already back.
All right. Let me quickly go to Pankaj, who is here with us. I know I'm sure that you're gonna really be happy to see Pankaj out here, and you might have a question: why am I doing this when Pankaj is here? So I think Pankaj got a well-deserved day off today, and he's going to be one of our buddies sharing his views about the game. So hi Pankaj, how are you doing?
Hello, Imam. Great to be back, man. I've been waiting for this to happen. We've had a lot of shows where celebrities came in, but this is fantastic. And as you said, just sit back, relax, and just talk when my turn comes up, as Imam would give me the opportunity. But before I do that, Imam, let me just, you said a warm welcome. I'll take your warm welcome. I'll give you a cool welcome from Bangalore. I know the heat wave is going on. If there's somebody coming in from Delhi, I'm sure he's struggling. So my heart goes out to all of you out there in Delhi. But yeah, this is nice and very relaxed in Bangalore. So yeah, let's take this forward, Imam.
Fantastic. And guys, you'll not be surprised listening to that Pankaj is relaxed. He is that more often than not. So warm weather, cool weather, you bring it on, he is always relaxed. All right. On that note, I quickly want to touch base upon the topic at hand, India versus Bangladesh. I know it does not sound great as if you were talking about India versus Australia, but that is the crux of the topic which you're going to talk about today. I just want to know, starting from you, Mridul, how eagerly are you looking forward to this series? You know that this is not a planned thing. This is came up out of it was not in the future tour program, so it came up just like that. So do you think it made sense, and how eagerly are you looking forward to the series?
Actually, I'm very eager for this series as it showcases our young talent from both from IPL and from our Ranji circuit. Players like Cheteshwar Pujara who really would like to make their one-day appearances, and people like Akshar Patel, Parvez Rasool, Ridhiman Saha, Kedar Jadhav, who they are like craving to make an appearance for India, and I think they deserve it. So it's for an youngsters and the players who have performed in all over the circuits like Ranji and IPL. So it's a good thing by BCCI to have a series with Bangladesh with this young talent.
Fantastic. I very well said, Mridul. I guess the fact about the youngsters which you brought up. I think before I could proceed about that point, we have Keshav who joined in. Hi Keshav. Looking really dark, handsome as he always does. Keshav, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Very good, very good. So today your hair is behaving properly and it's absolutely, you're looking like a Tom Cruise. All right, Keshav, we're talking about.
Isn't that a little bit too much of bromance happening here on the show? Imam?
Thank you for coming to rescue Pankaj.
Rescue. Okay, I'll talk to you later about that,
Guys,
Keshav.
let's not
So
make
what
this
we were.
personal and get on with the show, Imam.
Yes. So what I was we're talking about, Keshav, is the India-Bangladesh series which is coming up, and Mridul just spoke about the Indian talents which have got an opportunity. What, as per you, is the USP, or let me not say the USP, but what are you looking forward from this particular series which is coming up in the next few days?
Uh, Particularly, I'm not looking forward to anything in this series. More than that, it's about just looking to the score line of 3-0 at the end of the series, which India should win it very comfortably.
Well, I think that is the scoreline that Mushfiqur Rahman is looking for Bangladesh.
That's right. That's right. That's one point which that's a. Actually, let me ask you a question about that point itself, Pankaj. Now, Mushfiqur Rahim, as you rightly said, has said this point that he wants to beat India 3-0 because there are no big names. Most of the players are quite new, and they are not tested in testing conditions. And Bangladesh, most of them are going for the first time. So, what are your thoughts? Is it realistic from Mushfiqur's point of view to look at a clean sweep, or is it being too much? Is he speaking with too much optimism rather than looking at things realistically?
Imam, what we need to look at is first of all how India is taking this series. I mean, the fact that India is taking it lightly because this is almost they've churned up an India A squad, to send to to for this Bangladesh series, and so obviously when that happened, the other team, whether they you might consider them minnows or not, which frankly I believe that Bangladesh might not be the strongest team in the world, but their international side, maybe our boys, the new boys, might be good enough, but you never know. They have experience. So Mushfiqur, in his own right, is right in saying that because probably he's trying to play mind games. I don't know. I mean, I'm not privy to why he said that, but the fact that because these guys are young, probably inexperienced, a lot of them, it's a first big series for quite a few of them. Trying to make a mark and come back into the big scheme of things in the main India sort of thing for these guys. So maybe he's playing mind games. Who knows? But I think he has all the right to say that. Whether his team can deliver 3-0 or even a victory by whatever margin in this series is obviously something that I look forward to. I'm not as dumbed down on this as Keshav is. It's still cricket. It's still international cricket. I'm looking forward to it because there are a lot of young talent, which is probably the future of the country. For the next 10, 12 years, these are the kind of people who will be coming in, filling up the squads which get vacant every now and then. So this is exciting for me from that perspective. So, and in another way, what Mushfiqur said was that they might think this is India A. From the make of it, if you look at the team sheet, it does look like that. But then, as we know it, our boys, few of them have that talent. Few of them have played enough international. Raina is there to lead the side. So I think it's an even contest. See, had it been a full strength Indian team without any disrespect to Bangladesh, I probably would not have been excited right now. But the fact that it's a mix of young players with a few experienced ones thrown into the mix, uh, kind of makes it sort of an even contest. So I'm not counting Bangladesh out yet. So I'm still pretty excited for this tournament.
Perfect, perfect. Let me quickly throw this question to Raja. Raja, you said at the beginning that you are also looking forward to the series and looking forward to seeing Indian players get a chance, the new players. So, Raja, my question to you is: have the Indian selectors taken a risk by not getting in a couple of more tenured guys, into this tournament because it might backfire and we might not do that well. What are your thoughts about the team selection, Raja?
We might know that well is not the issue. This is Indian BCCI and have tried an experiment on the Indian team and they've given Suresh Raina also a chance. So it's experience for Suresh Raina also to captain the team. And then again, if you see the new players, they are excited. And as Pankaj said, we won't be so excited if there would be the whole actual Indian squad going to Bangladesh. But yeah, if Bangladesh and India have equal chances, I won't consider this as a risk. But yeah, they have played a good game.
Okay. All right. On the note of Suresh Raina's captaincy,
Yeah,
Robin, last time when Suresh Raina captained a team, a new team, which went to Zimbabwe, India did not even qualify for the finals of the Tri Nation tournament, and Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka played the finals, if I'm right. So
yeah.
that was what which happened last time. So how for are you looking forward to see how Raina captains this team, Robin?
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see Raina actually come into the midst of the international cricket as a captain. There were like times when we were seriously doubting his talent, and when he was like really facing trouble with the bouncers. Now, when he has like put his position as a strength point as number five in the Indian squad, maybe we can really look as Virat Kohli and Suresh Raina at some point leading the Indian team after MS Dhoni retires. But the larger question here is what exactly is the Indian administration looking like after this Bangladesh squad? Because we know that in the international squad there are 6, 7 people who will not be replaced. Like in the next year, you cannot replace these players like MS Dhoni or Ravindra Jadeja at any point of time. So if we see that any one player who stands out in this Bangladesh tour, how will you put this player in the Indian 11 in the coming future? That's my point right now for the Indian administration.
Robin, why are you looking so serious when you're talking about this?
So why not? There's a serious issue, na?
It's a serious issue, but it's not that भारत की जनता का क्या होगा यार, chill. Okay, you'd like to see
No,
you
because
smile and
no, no, I come from a media background, so probably the seriousness goes
I,
into it.
all right, now we know it. Now we know it. It was like हमारे देश की जनता को बहुत problem है and all that.
Yes,
So it's
and
okay.
I'm
It's okay.
also a debater, so probably the aggressiveness also comes with that.
चश्मा भी
Fantastic. We
पहना
love
है
that.
मीडिया बैकग्राउंड से अगला डायलॉग निकलेगा द नेशन वांट्स टू नो
Nation wants to know. Right. Keshav, the nation wants to know. You said 3-0 to India. That's what the scoreline you wanted to see. Suresh Raina's captaincy skills, as I said earlier. Last time when we went to Zimbabwe,
Yeah,
he did not do a
Imam.
great job. Your
Actually,
thoughts?
I would like to correct you a little bit here.
Okay, sure.
You said Suresh Raina last captain in 2010, but he actually last captain in 2011 India tour of ODI series India played,
No, I
and
did
India
not.
won it 3-2.
Okay.
So
No,
yeah,
I
Suresh
said
Raina was the captain on that tour.
when he went to Zimbabwe, not last time. Okay, thank you so much for correcting me, Keshav. But what I said earlier, when Raina was given the captaincy with a new team, with the likes of there's nobody, no Dhoni, no Virat Kohli, no Rohit Sharma. So last time when this happened, I guess we had a couple of main players as well, but still we did not qualify for the finals. So do you have trust in Raina's capabilities as a captain?
If even if I do not have trust, so just look at the team. Who else would you give? Because he's kind of a player who has a little bit of experience, like comparatively more experience than the rest of the team. So there's no other option anyway to give the captaincy. So and probably we haven't seen much of his captaincy thing in international circuit. Probably he captains his Ranji team and all, but no one really follows it. So I think this is the right time to analyze his captaincy skills, and then probably when he's given any other assignment in future next time, then probably we'll be able to answer that a little more precisely.
Yeah, Pankaj, please go on.
Imam, I have a feeling that even though I want this to be an even contest, as I mentioned earlier, but you can't just blame the management completely for this because if you look at the squad, I think they've made some very smart picks. There are people in form, number one. Okay, then they have a very sort of balanced, a good number of batsmen who are in form. Great bowlers they've picked up who've done really well off late. The only thing that I see which is missing probably in when the 11 is selected from the squad is somebody an outright match winner apart from probably Reina and Uttapa. When I look at that. So probably another two are missing who can win you the game on your own on a bad day where nobody else clicks, and then you need somebody to come to the rescue. Only that thing I find is missing. Otherwise, I see a very balanced 11 out of this squad of players that the management has selected. So I think it's not exactly a decision where that okay, let it be, it's Bangladesh and let's just give everybody a chance. But they've been smart in their picks. So what the 11 that's going to come out of it, I think should be a formidable opponent for Bangladesh. It just
Perfect.
depends how they perform on that given day. Yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Mridul, I think on the subject of what Pankaj said spoke about match winners. He spoke about Robin Uthappa and Raina, of course. My question to you, Mridul, is: do you think somewhere the Indian selectors made a mistake, or did not take that chance by including a certain Virender Sehwag into this team, taking into fact that he scored a fantastic century in such a big and a crucial game, and the fact that he has that hunger to play for India. Now, if you're not going to pick him for a team against Bangladesh, where most of the seniors are not going, when will you pick him? And do you think was this a mistake? What would you have done?
Actually, if it was in my hands, I would definitely pick Virendra Sehwag. But selectors picked like a very young team, and they have given chances to players who haven't made their debuts or have played only 2 to 5 matches. So it wouldn't have been a platform for Virendra Sehwag, and I think team was selected before he scored the century. So we can't say that selectors have like overridden his century. But yeah, it very good to watch him. But I think Robin Uthappa and Ajinkya Rahane are the openers. We can't replace them with like Virender Sehwag now as of now. But we definitely want back in the Indian team.
Okay, all right.
Imam, can I just
Sure.
interject here?
Go on.
I have a question for you. You mentioned Virender Sehwag. And I completely agree with Vidal to a large extent, because see, this series that is there, and the kind of people who are getting a chance. So the management was very clear that we want to see the future, and let's see who's probably gonna cut it for the next whatever couple of years or 10 years or 5 years. My question is, do you think Manish Pandey, not being there is? Are you surprised with that exclusion? You think he should have been there? What are your thoughts on Manish Pandey not being here?
Well, Manish Pandey, I think Pankaj throughout the IPL performed really well. He was consistent. Yes, I was surprised, but as Mritul said, this team was picked up more before the big matches which happened in the IPL. So Sehwag's century and Manish's fantastic 90 were not noticed because the team had already been picked by then. But the fact is that he should have been picked right away, because if you were looking to build a new team or a young team, I think the like of Manish Pandey, who really plays fast bowling really well, he should have been given a chance. So I completely agree with you there. And Sehwag, I pointed out, Pankaj, is because I'm really worried now as a Sehwag fan, as big fan as you are, that if you are saying, what is the signal are you trying to send to Virender Sehwag here? If you're not picking him in the England squad because you think that he has not been among the runs, you're not picking him against a team like Bangladesh and sending a young team. So are you saying to Virender Sehwag that this is it? This you will not be getting any chances going forward? If that is a signal, then I think that is incorrect, because I somehow feel that Virender Sehwag has at least a couple of years more to offer to the Indian Test team, if not the ODI and T20, because that requires a lot of running around and stuff. But for Test matches, you need a Virender Sehwag. That is what I felt. So let me ask that question to you. Yeah.
Yeah, knowing Viru a bit, he's not the kind of guy he's beyond all these signals. वो बहुत परे है इन सब चीजों से. That's what I'm trying to say. So he's the kind of guy who's going to do his thing with practice. He'll try to play as much cricket as possible because he loves the sport. He'll just try to be ready that whenever the opportunity comes, he just go. And he's somebody, one of the very few in international cricket who were born match ready. Because it's not going to happen that if he scores 20 in one match, you'll think, Arey yaar, he did not have enough practice, he didn't match practice, that's why. Because suddenly in the next match, he'll come back, he'll score a bloody 70 and he'll surprise you. And then you'll have nothing to say. So he's one of those guys. He'll just keep himself ready. Yes, but I agree. But Imam, all of us can just debate this all year around, that whether this was the right thing to do in terms of signaling to a senior player such as Virender Sehwag. But that's their call. I mean, you and I both know that whenever he comes, I mean, we would just love to watch him. We would pay our hard-earned money to actually go and see Viru do his thing. So I'm just hopeful. I'm just hopeful. Let the administration do their job. They know better. And whenever, I just hope he gets chances more often than not. Whenever that arises, whether it's a need, luck, a lot of factors are into play. So I'm just hoping, as a hardcore Viru fan, I'm just hoping that heavens do something and Viru gets a chance sooner rather than later, and if possible, make a comeback, cement his position for at least a couple of years, because I am definite that he has. You said couple of years, Imam. I'm very sure that he has at least 3 4 years left in him, and if he really focuses on his fitness for the next 1 year, I think a little more maybe. So let's see how that pans out.
Perfect. Perfect. On that subject now, let's we've spoken about.
Imam,
Yeah, Keshav, go on. Go on,
like
Keshav.
talking about Virender Sehwag, just thought of another old horse, Harbhajan Singh. Like he could have been tried on this tour because he performed consistently throughout the IPL. And like Mridul said, Sehwag's innings came after the team was destroyed. But Harbhajan Singh was already performing very consistently throughout the IPL, so he could have given a chance. And given the fact that he's a couple of years younger than Virender Sehwag as well, so if Sehwag has a couple of years left, according to you, I think Harbhajan has even more than that left. Probably, the spinners have kind of cemented their place in the Indian team, but still, this could have been the last chance, I think. So even if Sehwag has some minute chances of making a comeback, I don't think Harbhajan Singh has, even that in his hands now.
Yeah, okay. I think you answered the question which I was about to ask, Keshav. Let me again throw this to Mridul, Raja, and Pankaj as well. You've seen the team, guys. You've seen the team who got picked and who didn't. And as Keshav said, Harbhajan missed the bus, and as did Sehwag. I want to know from you guys, a couple of names who you really wanted to see in this team. And I'm not talking about just the veterans, the old horses, but also the players who caught your eye during the IPL. A couple of players, if you were given a chance, who would you have picked? Let me start with Raja. Any couple of players which you have at the back of your mind, Raja, whom you would have surely picked for the Bangladesh series, but did not get into the team. Raja?
Yeah. Frankly speaking, this would be a squad who I would pick. Okay, except yeah, I would have picked Manish Pandey as well as you said. But for me, according to the IPL and the Ranji performance, this was the team squad. Was quite a good squad to be picked for Bangladesh.
So you're quite happy with it, apart from
Yeah,
Manish Pandey.
apart from Manish
Okay,
Pandey, sure.
perfect. And Mridul, your thoughts?
I would have liked to pick Sanju Samson and Sandeep Sharma in the team. I'm happy with this team, but I think one of those guys should have been given chance to play for India.
Fantastic. I think I was looking for somebody to name Sanju Samson. I think
I think he has been picked for the quadrangular series in
yeah,
Australia,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that's not
he
the
has.
Indian team. That's like the first class or list A games only.
Right. Guys, it begs the question. I want to go to Keshav and find out his thoughts. Keshav, England, a team like England, which always had the history of trying players in the domestic circuit first, and once they turn 25, 26, only then give them a chance in the Test and One Day arena. But things have changed completely in England now. If you see a player like a Joe Root is right into the team and scoring tons of runs. And yesterday, he scored 100 against Sri
Scored a
Lanka.
century. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question to you is, Keshav, do you think it's right to save Sanju Samson and go on sending him to this quadrangular series in Australia and play him India A, rather than throwing him in the well right now and asking him to swim? Is that the right approach, or do you think that we should give him more time?
Clearly, he should be given some more time, because he's too young, and I don't think, the kind of arena like Dhoni has built in this Indian team. I don't think Dhoni would be too anxious to see Sanju Samson performing for Team India, because more or less all the places are almost cemented in Team India. There's not really a slot left for Sanju Samson to fill in. So yeah, this Bangladesh tour could have been an opportunity, but not an England tour, not at all. Like uh, if someone like Virender Sehwag missed it, who was in a good form and who was expected to be on the England tour, I don't think Sanju Samson, even the selectors would have given a thought to send him to the England tour. And as far as you asked that what changes would you wanted to see in this Bangladesh tour. So one change I was looking for is that they have kept Umesh Yadav on this tour and Varun Aaron is in the England tour. So I would have wanted a swap on this selection thing.
Fantastic. Very well said. Very well said. I agree with you, Keshav. Yes, Pankaj was coming to you next.
Let me just try these two different perspectives. That one that Keshav was talking about, which is Harbhajan Singh, and then I will talk about the youngsters. I have a feeling, Keshav, that how the management or everybody looks at these 4 or 5 names, which is probably Gautam, Viru, Bhaji, Yuvi, and Zahir. This is probably the era of the gone by. Oh, Dhoni is the only constant from this era, which is there and is going to be there for a while, which is a sure shot. These five guys are expendable, depending on whether they're in good form, whether they are fit enough, a lot of factors in play. So they're somewhere there in the reckoning, but not a sure shot. So depending on kya kitna acha kiya hai, whether there is a chance opening, it all depends on that, and that's how probably they're considered. Talking about, you mentioned why you thought Bhaji should have been picked. I agree with that. He was doing very well in the IPL. In that sort of form, a good international series would have been great for motivation. But then, the same reason why I spoke about Viru, saying that because he's the other era, he's from that different generation of cricketers, which I think let's just focus on the next lot. So I think that's what they've tried to do. That's why Bhaji didn't get a chance. But you're right. The kind of bowling he did, the kind of form he was in, he probably, if that the mindset was slightly more open towards the other guys, probably he might have had a chance. Talking about coming back to,
that would have given a little bit of experience to the attack as well.
Yeah, probably. You're right. But then, as I said, they just said, this is an open series. Let's just give everybody a chance. Let's see how they fare. Throwing the babies in the water and just figuring out how many can swim, kind of situation here. Now, going back to the youngsters here, the kind of names that were missed. Manish Pandey, of course, that was one name. Sandeep Sharma, I think deserved a call. He should have been tried out, I felt. Sanju Samson, I am all for it. I completely agree with Keshav and everybody else here, even Mridul, that he should be given this chance here, man. Abhi nahi to kab khilaoge, right? And then there was one name, there was a batsman, I think played for Rajasthan. I really like the look of him.
Karun Nair.
Karun. I think, he just looks very sound. It was almost like Ajinkya Rahane, and they're a mirror image of Ajinkya Rahane on the other end. So he had.
I think he's there on the India A's team on the Australia A tour. Is there?
Right. So good. But then, as I said, I would have loved to see him immediately after IPL, give him like a one match or whatever, just to try him out and see how he fares. So that was something that I would have wanted. But one guy that I'm really, really excited about, Imad been doing very well. He's a brilliant keeper. Okay, obviously because of Dhoni, as I said, Dhoni is not expendable, so he can't just be replaced for one match, off match here and there, and him given a chance. But I'm very happy that I think he's a very talented fellow as a batsman. He's a brilliant keeper, and most importantly, he's on a high. Okay, he's coming into this series with a great high, great form, and I would love to see him capitalize on this because, as I said, there is Robin Uthappa, there is Raina, who I know can turn the match on their own. But the kind of form that Riddhi is coming in, he probably could be one of the other two slots that I was talking about that I felt was missing of the game changers. So if he just plays the way he has been and he just and he's a temperamentally sound batsman as well. So in the longer format also he can just bide his time and do that. So I'm really looking forward to Riddhi's innings in the upcoming series.
I just hope Pankaj that he gets in. Yeah, Keshav.
Like one selection which really kind of surprised me was Suresh Raina. Like he actually performed in IPL. He was given a couple of chances. He didn't do anything, and he's surprisingly on the both of the tours. Like he's going to England as well. He's going to Bangladesh as well. I don't really want to say anything about the politics in the selection because of where he come from, but this is kind of a surprising call to me. I really want to know all of your views on that.
No, no,
Incidentally, Keshav, you just said the reason about the politics. You
no,
were
no, no,
speaking
no.
about a period end.
I don't think there's any politics at all. I think BCCI one of the finest bodies who ensure that the selection is on merit. So let's not talk about the stuff which we don't.
Well played, Imam. Very well played.
Let's not go there and talk about this. Like but the fact that let's talk about the people who are in the team. My question to you guys is that Pankaj now really put nicely things about Ridhiman Saha. Now, the biggest quandary for a captain Suresh Raina would be he has a Robin Uthappa in the team who can keep wickets and do it well, and he has a Ridhiman Saha who's an out and out keeper and a very good batsman, and you have other batsmen in the squad as well. I just hope for Ridhiman Saha's sake that he is not asked to sit on the bench. Uttapa gets picked, and the other batsmen get a chance.
I think
So
that'd be disastrous, Imam.
that will be disastrous. So, Mridul, was it was it a right move to pick two keepers in the squad?
I think
Right,
they picked three keepers. We also have Kedar Jadhav. He's also a pure wicket keeper batsman.
right, but he didn't keep in the IPL. Good point. Yeah, but more of towards if you're talking about the IPL in question here, the IPL is where these guys get picked from, right? This particular series. So both of them kept wickets. What are your thoughts? Do you think this was the right move because we are just 3-4 hours away from Bangladesh? If unfortunately one of the keepers get injured, you always have some backup plan. So do you think will this make sure that the opportunity to Sahar doesn't go in, or will
I
Raina
think
give it a fair thought and pick both of them in the squad?
I
Which
think
should
both
which is
of them will be picked. Ridhiman Saha should be our wicketkeeper batsman, and Robin Uthappa should be our opener. We shouldn't look to Robin Uthappa as a wicketkeeper batsman opener. We should definitely give a chance to a wicketkeeper like Ridhiman Saha, who has definitely played really well in Ranji seasons for Bengal and has really performed well in this IPL. He deserves a chance, and I think he's a better wicketkeeper than in our current Indian scenario. I can rate him better than Dinesh Karthik and his other compatriots. I would definitely
Yeah,
want to see Saha.
right. You know what? I might create some controversy here, but I would say he's a very far better wicket keeper than Mahendra Singh Dhoni also.
Yeah, yeah,
If you see, and
I
especially in
agree.
longer formats, I would love to see a Saha, but unfortunately, there's no place for him. So, having spoken about the team selection, guys, and before we wind up this topic, one quick question which I want to ask you guys is that after Bangladesh has said so much and created a hype and all that, this series, if a couple of people mentioned about not being broadcasted
Yeah.
on live channels, we might be deprived of watching the youngsters playing for India, which was the dream of the BCCI, which is what the BCCI wanted. So my question to you is this right to would they have had a Virat Kohli in a team or some superstar to ensure that this series was bought by sponsors? Pankaj, what are your views about it?
Actually, Imam, it's not that there aren't people out there. If I remember correctly, what I was reading, one, the fact that the interest for this series. I mean, keep fans like us aside, okay? Because we're probably not the average fan out there. So the general interest for this series is slightly low. So that's why probably finding the broadcaster was a little tough. And plus, Star I think made a move for this series, but they offered too little money to the Bangladesh board or something. And then I think there's also a problem that BCCI I believe has a problem with Neo because of the past or whatever, and 10
And
sports for
10.
some reason. So I think putting all these factors, you take three people out, and then out of the probably the 4 or 5 big broadcasters out there, then what are you left with? And if the others are not offering money because if they don't see a return, so I think it's pure economics at play, and economics and to a certain extent maybe a bit of politics because of the Neo and 10 angle, maybe I don't know, but yeah, surely fans like us will be deprived. It'll be very sad. I'm just hoping that people wake up and whatever somebody's offering, let's just take it. Right? I mean, the audience is in India. Yes, a Bangladesh board might be offered a little less money for our sake. Please accept it. It's money at the end of the day, and we'll get to watch. That's all I can say, man.
Yeah, but I don't you think, guys, it's so unreal because we talk about cricket being the sport. We do not watch a lot of other sports, and there's not a lot of commercial interest. But at the end of the day, you're not having a series of Indian players playing in Bangladesh. So I think we need to ensure we ensure that everything, it should be a mandate that wherever India plays, it should be broadcasted live because cricket, even though it's not a national sport formally, in a way it is a national sport because all of us watch it without giving it a miss at all. Having said that, and just to ensure to let the audience know that whatever we say we mean it, we don't just watch the Indian cricket, we also watch the Padosi cricket, gully cricket, and also the cricket which is happening in England right now. And one before we call it a show today, one thing which I really want to talk about is that the whole Mankading incident,
Yeah.
which took the limelight of a very good series which was played very fairly till that incident. It was a very competitive series which Sri Lanka went on to win 3-2. But there was an incident where Josh Butler was acting like a school child, and Senanaike, as a teacher, went about teaching him a lesson. So my question to you today is before we wrap up the show, what he did, it is a rule. It's not against the rules. It is very clearly mentioned in the ICC rule book that you can go ahead and mancade a batsman if he is taking an unfair advantage. So my question to you is, I'll start with Keshav, who seems to be pretty upright the moment I ask this question. So I will go to him first. What are your thoughts, Keshav? Is it a mistake of Butler? Is it a mistake of Senanaike, or is it a mistake of the ICC of not making this rule very clear?
Imam, first of all, like when you were explaining about this incident, when you were, starting this topic, you said a very good series which was played very fairly till that point. I think we got your opinion that that wasn't a fair thing to have happened, but I think it's completely fair. They did whatever they did; it was all within the rules and regulations. And he was warned a couple of times before that, even in the last game. So I don't really think that it was something which people are saying it was unfair, and the whole ground actually booed to the Sri Lankan players after that happened. But I think it was completely fair, and the umpire asked Matthews, and he upheld his appeal, the bowler's appeal. He didn't withdrew it. So and of course, Alistair Cook, he was on the losing side. That's why he said it wasn't a fair thing to have happened, because I think even if Matthews were there on the other side, he would have said the same. So it's always this someone who's on the receiving end. He would feel that that rule that they got the better of him.
Okay. Let me go to Pankaj, who's listening really intently to what Keshav had to say there. Pankaj, I think you know about this incident, the whole saga of Butler getting mancaded by Sen and Ike. What are your thoughts about it? Do you think whose fault, and is it the time that ICC wakes up and says clarifies stands on this? Because if it is happening as per the rule, it should not be called against the spirit of the game because where it goes hand to hand. So, what are your thoughts about it?
First of all, to a lot of viewers might be wondering what the hell are we these guys talking about man kidding, right? So just for their benefit, I think when the non-striker is outside the crease and just before the bowler is bowling and he runs him out, that's called man kidding, and it happened because I think Vinu Mankad, one of our greats of the yesteryears, did that long time ago. I completely agree with Keshav on this one here. It's surprising that I'm agreeing with Keshav so much in this today's show. Not that I disagree with a lot, but today he and I are in sync, it seems. So well done, Keshav, on that. I agree saying that this is fair. Number one, if you think about it, Imam, you know, cricket as a sport, everything is for the batsman.
Yeah.
You know, any new rule that comes up is for the batsman. Any boundary restriction, this or that, everything is in favor of the batsman. So even before the first ball has been bowled, the bowlers are up against it, right? There is one this little thing in their favor, which is, by the way, is absolutely fair even from a common sense perspective, right? The batsman, the non-striker, is supposed to be in his crease. He's not supposed to be out. So if you just think about the run-out formula, he's out. Even by that standard, you might call him mankading or whatever, but he's run out, right? So, so I don't understand what the controversy is. Yes, maybe it's a little ambiguous in terms of rules and whatnot, but I don't think it should be ambiguous anymore. ICC should completely declare that this is legal, which it should be completely. Stay in the crease, and when the bowler bowls the ball, then you can do whatever you want, as the rule permits. So I'm completely in favor of the mankading thing here. Let it go on. I mean, it's the non-striker's mistake. He's not supposed to be out of the crease, so he should be paying for it. And frankly, there should be something for the bowlers. Yeah, poor things keep getting hit all over the park with bigger bats and smaller boundaries. So there should be something for them.
Okay. Mridul, I've heard what Keshav and Pankaj had to say. Before I can get your thoughts on that. Let me also remind you guys that Senanaike was called for chucking by the umpires in
Yeah.
this very series. In after the second ODI or the third ODI, the umpires reported his action to the match referee, and he will be again under the microscope in terms of testing the arm and how much is he bending his arm and all. So my question to you is, Mridul, a bowler like a Senanaike, a bowler like a Senanaike, who was reported for chucking, and he takes out the stumps. It's like adding fuel to the fire. You are under in the microscope. You are under the controversy any which way, and you're doing this. How fair do you think that is? And also the fact that Sri Lankans have done a couple of things against the spirit of the game earlier as well. If you recall the Virender Sehwag century,
Yeah. This
by
and the no
giving
ball one.
Suraj Randeep bowled a no ball,
Yeah.
and it was a huge no ball, and they accepted the mistake, said that they didn't want Sehwag to get the century, which was obnoxious to say the least. So I don't know why the hell will they do that. So this is the second incident which has happened like that, and it's not an Indian involved. So I guess most of us saying it is okay. The non-striker is not backing up too far. Is it okay? Imagine a Virat Kohli getting mancated by a Serenai. Would you have said the same thing as what Keshav and Pankaj are saying right now?
Yeah, I think I would have said this because I agree with Pankaj. Cricket is only becoming a batsman favor game. Bowlers are getting nothing. And I think the warning before the Mankading Act should also be abolished. There shouldn't be any warning given to the batsman that you have crossed the crease. Why should there be any warning? They should have been like run out on the first appearance as well. There should be no warning. And the
Absolutely, absolutely. Otherwise, what is stopping from the big federations to come up with a warning for the LBW rule, or that your foot is coming in the line? Please make sure that next time that if you're hitting the ball with your leg, it should be outside the off stump. That's ridiculous, man.
Okay.
I'm with you on this, Mridul.
Okay.
yeah.
Right, guys. I know that I will not go against the majority here and say that I have a different opinion altogether. But my only concern with that dismissal was, I think this is something which was not talked about at all. The rule says before the bowler completes his bowling swing, right? Senanayake got into his delivery strike. He landed his back foot. The moment the bowler lands his back foot, it considers as if he's got into his swing. That went unnoticed completely. This was not referred to the third umpire, and the on-field umpire gave him out. Yes, Pankaj.
Yeah. I just wanted to come in and say that, Imam, first of all, I believe that all these laws, all these little intricacies that are built in to the new rules are just to kind of make it impossible for a very clear verdict on these things. Batsman, whether he's completed his strike or not, whether he's swung his arm or not, what Kapil Paji did once in that era, that he ran out right when he jumped, he just stood and ran out. That should be the case, yeah. You bloody stay in your crease. The non-strikers, it should be a very clear mandate for them that where the hell are you going? What is your hurry? I mean, see, it should also be fair. If you talk, if you know all this talk about spirit of the game, if you just think about it, stealing a single should be, should only be considered valid once the bowler has bowled, right? That they start running even when the ball is not bowled, and then you complain that how can you get me out? Swing or not arm swing. So I think this rule is a little stupid. If you, I mean, for a lack of a better word here, I find this extremely stupid. This is again, as I keep saying, this is all being done to save the batsman more and more, so that the bigger batsmen have more opportunities, can hit more sixes, more enjoyment for the fans. I don't know, but I don't adhere to this. I'm completely against it. I believe that it should be a very clear mandate that if you're out of the crease, the bowler can get you out anytime, even for a non-striker. You move out of the crease, he can stop, he can just pull the stumps. Whether he started his swing or finished his swing doesn't matter. I mean,
Okay.
that would be my final word on this particular topic.
Fantastic. Now,
Okay,
when the nation knew that it's his final word, so let's not debate it. Pankaj has said it, so let's not enhance this topic. Keshav, you were saying something.
yeah, just I was like, I thought, we have talked about the Mankading thing. So now that we are talking about the England Sri Lanka series, let's just talk a little bit on how Sri Lanka would fare in the tests. We know that they won the one day series, but there they had the likes of Malinga and Dilshan, some really good one day players who are match winners and who could turn the game on their own. But in test format, I don't think they have that kind of a firepower. And we saw last day, the first day of the first test, they were in a good position, but then they just let it go, and England put up a really good fight. So do you think they would be able to give a fight in these two test matches?
Uh, they have got good bowlers, is what I would say, Keshav. The fact is that, as you rightly said, there's no Malinga. Malinga makes a huge difference to this team. He was smart. He wanted to play the ODIs and T20 so that he could play more T20 tournaments, which is very, very prompt in his point of view. But again, jokes apart, he is one player who's going to be really missed. And I think it will not be easy. Playing England in England is always tough because the conditions in England are very different to all other countries. So Sri Lanka will be in for a hard time when they come into bat. Apart from the Sangakkara and Jayawardene couple, I don't see if England can knock over these two early, then I don't think Sri Lanka. I don't give Sri Lanka a chance even in a single innings. Forget about a test match. Jayawardene and Sangakkara get knocked out, they are gone. That's the only hope which they are living in, which is very very thin at the moment because even they are on the wrong side of 30s and losing their reflexes and eyesight as fast as Viru did for us. So it'll be a
Hey,
challenge.
who said wrong side of 30s? I am 33, feeling good and fine. What are you rubbish are you talking, sir?
No, the fact is that they recently quit T20 cricket, Pankaj. That adds to the stuff that they will not be playing more international games. And playing international sport is altogether a different challenge. And you can play 100 IPLs, you can play 100 CPLs, but when you go out there and face the music in an international game, it's different. So I think James Anderson and Stuart Broad are going to test Sri Lankan batsmen and a test which will really really be difficult for them.
But Imam,
Yeah, Pankaj, you were saying.
when you talked about these people who are in their 30s, late 30s, and about to get retired and all. But I think Sangakkara is one of those players who is, I think, at the peak of his career. Like since last a couple of years, I have seen him. Like he gets better and better day by day. I mean, just look at his performance in the last 2 years. If you look at his statistics, a couple of years back, he averaged around 35, 36 in the ODIs, and suddenly now you see his average has gone past 40. So that means he has played some very consistent innings. And talking about tests, he averages around 58, 59, which is like I think second or third highest at the current cricket scenario in the present world. And I think talking about him again overall, I think at present for me he is the best left-handed batsman playing right now in the world.
Perfect. Ridul, your thoughts on what exactly you can expect from the series between Sri Lanka and England?
Actually, we should have an eye on this because Joe Root has came in the form. We have next series in England, the Test series, and they have included Liam Plunkett after 7 years in Test side. And Chris Jordan was in a good form. So we should look out for their bowlers and also for their batsmen. I think Sam Robson has made his debut. They have introduced quite new players and some players after a long period of time. So I think Sri Lanka England series is I am not following it, but yeah, I will like to follow it because of the India's sake, because we are going there playing test matches and I want us to win. So we should have a look on them. And yeah, they are playing good. England are playing good. Moeen Ali is in a good nick. And for Sangakkara, I think Sangakkara scored 150 odd runs for Durham when he was playing the first class match, and he also scored a good century. He's in a good form, and I think he's the main batsman to for England to get the victory. If he's out, I think England will surely be victorious.
You know,
You
Imam,
know,
when
yeah.
yesterday's play got over, I was just checking some cricket info comments and all. So people had written like they, of course, they appreciated Joe Root's performance, but at the same time, a lot of England followers also had written, give a mediocre attack to this England team, and these puppies again look like tigers. So like they are still so fed up of that 5-0 Ashes loss.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Thanks for letting us know, Keshav, about that comments. I think that's what it is. A true fan always wants the team to do well against their arch rivals, as we do when we play against Pakistan. But you know what, guys who were watching, the fact that Mridul was speaking about England and Sri Lanka, at the end of the day came back to India. He said the reason why he'll watch it is because India is going to England in the upcoming months. So the fact is that no matter kahan bhi jao, फिर भी दिल है Hindustani. So that is what we are. That is what we do. Pankaj,
No, I was saying he's a true Indian cricket fan.
true Indian cricket fan. So we touched base upon the India-Bangladesh series. He was enthusiastic about the team selection and stuff. We went to Sri Lanka, but still were not able to bring back Mridul from England. He stayed with India and he'll stay for India as we all will do. Before we wrap up the show, is almost four guys. I know before we wrap up, a quick scoreline prediction from all of us before we leave, because the next time we'll meet, I think we would have finished the second game or something like that. So, Pankaj, starting with you, what is your scoreline for the India-Bangladesh series?
Before I just tell you the numbers and what I'm thinking or what I have a feeling for, I just want to have a quick word on something that I missed out on. I had
Sure.
mentioned that I'm looking forward to Riddhiman Saha for obvious reasons, in being in great form and stuff. There's one guy obviously that I'm really excited to see how he starts faring, because I see great potential in him, and we've spoken at length about him. He is Akshar Patel. The kind of temperament he's displayed in tough situations, as a batsman as well. He is a marvelous fielder, and fielding is a must now, and he is brilliant, one of the better fielders now. And then his bowling is spectacular, so I'm really looking forward to his performance. Two people for whom I believe this series is very, very critical for the longevity of their career. These two are, I believe, is Manoj Tiwari, one. He's been out of the action for a while. He's coming back, and obviously he's been trying to get into the main Indian side for a while, not getting a chance. Now he has a chance to showcase his skills. He didn't do his IPL wasn't exactly something to boast home about. So for him this series is extremely critical. The other guy, why would be this would be critical? Because in this format, because in the IPL he didn't do very well. He was thrown out and never got a chance back. Is Apna Pujara.
Yeah.
So in these sort of, I mean, he's a sure shot when it comes to tests. I mean, his spot is fixed. We know, so he can just take his bat through the day, not a problem. But when it comes to a shorter format, I think he still has a lot to prove. So, and if he can't even do it against Bangladesh if given a chance in the main 11, then I think there'll be a lot of questions asked about his talent and temperament for this particular format or the shorter version. So for these two, uh, I think so. This is very critical. Going back to my prediction, I would go 2-1 India. Why I say 2-1, Imam? I believe they might lose the first one because it will take some time. I mean, I have a feeling if they don't, great. If they don't, great. So new side, they're not trying to figure things out. All these things falling into place. Condition might not be very different, but it takes some time. So I have a feeling. Uh, Bangladesh's only chance to really dominate this series and have probably try to have a hold is the first match. If India gets away in the first match, then I don't think Bangladesh can catch even this side. So probably they might lose the first one, but I see them coming back strongly. So I'll go 2-1 in that.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's what we want. 2-1, Pankaj says. Keshav at the beginning of the show said he would like to see 3-0. After this hour, has anything changed your opinion, Keshav, or do you still go with the same scoreline?
Nothing has changed. I can only change it to 0-3, like putting India back because it's home series for Bangladesh. So let's keep them ahead 0-3. So apart from that, apart from that, there are no changes. I mean, look at Bangladesh's performance this year. Like they have lost so many matches in a row. They have lost everything in T20 World Cup, bleeding for that clean sweep. They lost Asia Cup badly. So I think they're not in that sort of form which once we
But
used to fear that
Keshav,
they might have tried.
don't you think all these will be added motivation for them because they have lost everything as you said, and this is their chance. This is a chance of beating. Even though India is not number one right now in the one-day rankings, they are the world champions. Beating world champions even though it at their home might वो सारे गुना धुल जाएंगे. They will
No, but
it will wash away all their things which they did.
that is the case every time they play any other team other than Zimbabwe. ये motivation तो हमेशा आती होगी उनको.
Well said, Keshav.
क्योंकि they are
Well, actually,
for 10-12 years they are the number 8 number 9 team, so their arch rivalries with Zimbabwe. Other जो बाकी टीमों को खेलेगा तो they will be thinking that this is our chance and all. एक साल में one off match if they surprise it's not a big deal. This is cricket. It's a game of uncertainty. So
I
it
think
happens.
Bangladesh is defeated.
0-3 is what Keshav goes for. He puts India, favorites and 0-3. And guys, I think Keshav wasn't great form today. First of all, he got Pankaj to be on his side today. He got him agreed to a lot of points. And then he said a beautiful part about Zimbabwe playing other than Zimbabwe, which is a very good point, Keshav. So yes, so we take Keshav's scoreline there. So Mridul, what do you think?
I would like to go with Pankaj 2-1. As Bangladesh has a talented side, Anamulak, Mumenul, Shakib. I think they will definitely win a single. They will win a match. I'm going with 2-1.
All right, fantastic. All right, so
And we
Imam,
can
what
also
about you?
probably
yeah, go on.
Yes, Keshav,
yeah,
go
I
on.
said, I said like we could probably just also predict the scoreline of the England Sri Lanka series and as well as अब लगे हाथ बात कर रहे हैं तो West Indies New Zealand series as well, just to cover up the world cricket right now.
Yeah, West Indies,
Uh,
New Zealand.
yeah, I think we are almost out of time, Pankaj.
Yeah, it's okay. We can go for another 5 minutes.
All right, sure. So yeah, Keshav, now that you've brought it up, I think we'd love to know what your thoughts are about that series as well, where Gale completed his 100th Test match recently. So, but they still lost by a huge margin. So your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand cricket is like on a flourishing way right now. They're doing good. They've got some talented players, and just to add to that, Jimmy Neesham, who had a very poor IPL, he scored another 100, like 200s in 2 games. So I think, and they have got a new spinner, some Mark Craig, and he got 8 wickets on the debut and got a man of the match as well. So I think this series will be something big for New Zealand because they won in West Indies after a very, very long time, and West Indies coming back from kind of a low. Darren Sammy is not there anymore, so they have a new captain. So it will take some time to for them to get out of this sort of period which they have to build up a lot of things. So I guess New Zealand would take this series, and I think England Sri Lanka series we will have a surprise and might just win one of them. So I think 1-1 would be the scoreline for that.
All right, perfect. Mridul, your thoughts about first of all, are you following this West Indies New Zealand matches? I know that it goes on to a different part of the world, so when it starts or when it's lunchtime there, it's like
It has no bearing on the next Indian series. No, why would Mridul watch it?
yeah.
Yeah. I was
No,
about to say,
actually,
I was about to say कि I would love to see what like मैं देखना चाहता हूँ मृदुल यहाँ पे इंडियन कनेक्शन कैसे निकालता है.
मृदुल, आई थिंक इट्स अ
No,
बिग चैलेंज. एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी रखी गई है आप पे, तो मुझे यकीन है कि आप इस जिम्मेदारी पे खरे उतरोगे. सो गो ऑन, योर थॉट.
no Indian connection here. No Indian connection. I think that test was West Indies New Zealand test match was a good match. I think Jerem Taylor made a comeback after many years. I was happy that he was back in the team, and Chandrapal played well, but West Indies under Dinesh Ramdeen, I doubt them. I don't think how far they will go. I seriously doubt them.
For Indians, the name of your leader Dinesh Ramding is not very inspiring, is it?
Right, and also Pankaj, I can bring an Indian connection, Mridul. I'll support you here. No, the reason why West Indies didn't do well is because Sunil Narayan was playing in IPL in India. The final was here, and he
I
was
think
not able to
whether
do.
if Sunil Nareen played, I think New Zealand would have still won. Sunil Nareen, for me, Sunil Nareen in Test is not that much.
अभी तेरे को इंडियन कनेक्शन नहीं लाना है तो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता. मैं तो सोच रहा था कि तेरे को कैसे हेल्प करूं. आई विल नॉट डू दैट नेक्स्ट टाइम. अपने को गोली मार रहा है तू. Okay, so let's not draw an Indian connection. Pankaj, your scoreline for the England Sri Lanka series and
You
also
know,
your thoughts
frankly,
about.
I don't think I'm qualified right now to make any sort of judgment on that. We have not even seen a single delivery. I seen the probably the video and I read about the whole Mankading thing, which I had very clear thoughts on right from day one when it first happened in the international scene like many years ago. Because after I was very able to give you my thoughts very clearly on that. So I can't really give you a prediction. But talking about the
No,
New Zealand thing, I'm a little excited, about New Zealand. I'll tell you why. It's a long shot, going to the World Cup next year, happening Australia, New Zealand, that part of the world. So I'm excited. Australia's always been strong contenders, especially when they play at home. They will always be strong. But I've always liked New Zealand. They're a spirited side. Them getting a few people in who are in form, playing well, and getting ready just before the World Cup just bodes well for the tournament, for a well-rounded tournament. You know that there'll be strong sides coming in from India, and hopefully they'll perform in those sort of conditions as well. But if the home nations are not playing well, it just kind of takes you down because the environment is not exactly exciting when the home team is not playing. And so I'm just hoping Australia and New Zealand, and forget Australia right now, they're not in contention because of the series that you guys are discussing. But I'm excited about New Zealand. I really hope they pull together a brilliant unit just at the right time, just before the World Cup, so that we can have an exciting tournament.
perfect. And I think the World Cup preparation or the the talk has already begun, guys. Yesterday there was a press conference with Ravi Shastri, and also Sean Tate was in that press conference. And Sean Tate also started taking pot shots at South Africa yesterday. He said that India and Australia go in as his favorites, and but South Africa will be a good team, but they will choke at the crucial stages. He was very clear to the point. He did not mince words there. So I think the preparation has already begun, so we can look forward to the World Cup and the India Bangladesh series where we started this
I
topic
have a
on.
feeling
Yeah.
New Zealand might surprise everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a big statement coming from Pankaj about the World Cup. Keshav, you're raising your hand
I'm
here
not
before
saying
we
the
close.
finalists, but top four. I'll probably give them a spot.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah, Keshav, before we wrap it up, quickly your final words.
Yeah. Before we wrap it up, I just wanted to get one quick comment from all of you. Is Flintoff comeback a good decision by him or not?
No.
What the F? This
Yes.
happened? When did this happen?
Yeah. The
I'm
first class
Okay.
cricket. Just the first
So
class cricket.
yeah, he's coming back to this T20 Blast, the domestic T20 competition in England for Lancashire. So I just wanted to know, is this a wise decision?
No.
Okay.
He first of all boxing को ले गया था वो. I think that's where he got really. Somebody has given him a big hit on his temple. So I think he has lost some thinking of what he's doing. So I think for me, no, a strict no. You're out of the game. You should be out of the game. No more coming back. That's my point. That's
Okay,
my.
but okay, fine. Mridul, you are with Imam on this one?
No. I really love Flintoff's performance. I think he should be back in like T20s. And I heard somewhere he was in talks with some Big Bash teams. So I would definitely want to see him back in action. And it's not like that if you're out of the game, you should not be back in the game. I think Imran Khan was out of the game and he also came back in the game somewhat like that.
And he struggled big time. Okay. That,
The difference. I kind of I subscribe to Mridul's opinion, and not just for the fact that Flintoff was a great asset to have for any side that he used to play for. I think from the entertainment perspective, I think Flintoff is a great character to have in a game that's happening. So from a fun sort of point of view, I think he's a great spectacle. He's in your face all the time. He's a hard worker. So if he comes back, plays even like 50, 60, 70% to his leaving, a particular arena for a while and then coming back. But then he's a great character. I would love to see him back here. People like him, Shane Warne, people are always in your face, saying stuff and but backing it up with great performances as well. So I like those kind of people. So he's a great character. I would vouch for him to come back.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, Keshav, what do you think? You posted the question. So before we wrap it up real quickly, what are your thoughts?
See, it's kind of a subjective thing. If this works, like if he is back and this blasts, so I think people will say, "Wow, what a good decision," and he actually shouldn't have retired and all. But if he fails miserably, everyone would say, "Arey, yaar,
what do you think?
That's what I said. It's subjective. Like right now, I've not decided what do I think about it. मैंने सोचा नहीं है इस बारे में. तो I thought कि तुम लोगों से पूछ लेता हूँ.
Perfect, perfect. All right, so guys, we well exceeded 1 hour, so I'm really happy that the parampara of the show is maintained. We always think of, earlier before we started, we thought of how long this conversation will go for, but again, we've exceeded
but remember,
it.
Imam, I told you that
Yes.
okay, maybe there aren't too many people coming in as long as we have our regulars, and we might think we'll only do a 30-minute show. But I was telling you that if our gang comes through, then 1 hour is not going to be enough, and that's exactly what happened today.
So hence proved it was. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. Before we wrap it up, I just want to say all the very best to the Indian team, and a very big thank you to Pankaj, to Keshav and Mridul, and all the best guys, the Indian team. If you're watching, I'm sure you tune in to hang out every week and watch our opinion about you. So what I would say is forget about the scoreline, whatever it will be. Just give it your best. I think play like you will never get a chance again, and prove to the world that BCCI made a right call by picking all the youngsters like you. So all the very best, and we hope you do really well. Thank you so much, audience, for tuning in to Friday Hangout. We are going to be back next week again in the middle of the series, and let's see how many.
Imam, the series would have been wrapped up. The
Series will
final is on 19th.
19th.
All right, so we'll conclude. I will correct myself. Keshav, as I mentioned, was in great form today. He proved that yet again. So 20th, we are going to meet and talk about and do a quick post-mortem of what happened. But whatever happened, I think would have happened for the betterment of Indian cricket. That is what the show is all about, to discuss Indian cricket. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week right here on Find a Hangout. Tata and a bye-bye.